Give me one area of opportunity for the best players on the Niners. We can go back and forth, but you name a player. We'll talk about where they can, I don't know, an area of opportunity.
Let's start with Deebo Samuel because he's put a lot of pressure on himself this offseason, in my opinion. And I love that. I think most great players tend to find a way to put a chip on their shoulder or feel slighted in some way. And I feel like he's really put that pressure on himself. So I love to see that. The one area of me for Deebo that I would love to see him improve is effort. And I mean effort when he's not getting the ball.
Yeah.
Can you carry out a play fake? Can you be... Why is it every time you're breaking a long run, Brandon Ayuk is 15 yards downfield, making sure that you get there? Why don't you do that for Brandon Ayuk just one time? Can I see that?
Thank you, man. Someone needed to say that. Brandon Ayuk is like constantly being wrenched in and out of the freaking doghouse because of some little thing he did or didn't do away from the play. Like, this guy has to be above reproach with his effort on every block, every clear out route. And yet, Deebo Samuel jogs through the game, literally jogs through the game unless he's getting the ball. Come on. I'm with you on that. And like, hey, when Purdy went down on that fateful play, a million things went wrong on that play. But one of the things was Deebo Samuel not selling that ghost motion end around. If you don't know what that jargon means, go back and watch the play. It has Deebo Samuel running around like he's going to get the end around, and it was supposed to slow down Hassan Reddick. He's running right at him, but Deebo's clearly jogging, knowing he's not going to get the ball, and it doesn't affect anyone on the play. He's basically not doing anything. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Okay, so we agree on that one. We agree on that one. I like it. Okay. George Kittle, Mr. Tight End.
But there's more for Deebo, though. One more area of opportunity.
Let's go. Okay.
Staying healthy. Everyone's like, man, when he's healthy, he's the best. Okay, but like, how often does he do that? Because Ayuk does it. And here's the thing. If you get hurt a lot, it's not your fault. Like, I'm not blaming players for getting injured. That's pretty messed up. Football. Yeah. Injuries happen in football. But the ability to stay healthy while playing football is a skill. Even though there's bad luck, if you can avoid a lot of that bad luck and somehow play all the games, that's a real skill. And Deebo hasn't shown it yet. So I'd like to see if he can like prove that it's just been bad luck, put his best foot forward, be in shape, and not get hurt.
But also control the controllables. There are things you can control. You can't control getting hurt, but you can control being in shape and putting yourself in the best position to not get hurt.
Right.
And I think
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't think he has consistently done that. I think Ayuk has. So I'd like to see that with Deebo.
For sure. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
Let's talk Ayuk. Oh yeah, Ayuk? With Deebo. There's one more with Deebo.
You got another one? I don't have another one.
Catch the damn ball, Deebo. Catch the damn
ball. That's a concentration thing. I
know. Catch the damn ball. And then when we go to Ayuk, I was going to say the same thing. Catch the damn ball.
Catch the ball. Man. That's what I was going to say too. Yes. You got it.
Catch the damn ball, man.
This team in general needs to improve that. That's a big, big issue right now. And you see it more with Lance because obviously he throws the ball harder and, his finger was messed up, and so you got a lot of wobble, whatever. But even with Jimmy, who throws a very catchable ball, Brock Purdy, who throws a very catchable ball, they drop the ball way too much. And
that is so interesting that you bring that up because a lot of people tried to write off Trey Lance early in his career, like, oh, he can't. They're dropping his passes. They drop everyone's passes, all of them, except for Kittle.
Everybody's.
Except for Kittle. I'll give Kittle that credit.
I literally lost my fantasy football league by 0.2 points. Because Brandon Ayuk against Seattle had the little easy 10-yard catch and just dropped it, and that was it. It didn't mean anything in the game. They were going to win, but that was the difference between me winning $1,000 and not. So I'm a little upset with Brandon Ayuk right now.
Sorry. Yeah, I think Jawan Jennings, catch the damn ball, man. The three of you. You guys could be as good as any trio of wide receivers in the league if you just caught the damn ball. The three of you. The goal for you is drop percentage below 5. All of you.
But they all make amazing catches.
Exactly. You have it in you. You have it in you. You can do it. Yeah. It's just concentration. Like, you all could do it. And I think that's the goal. It's not a physical limitation of any of you. It's just do better.
Like, if they've got to go up and get the ball and make a one-handed grab, it's going to happen. They can. Guaranteed. Yeah, it's crazy.
Jawan Jennings drops 12% of his targets. Come on, man.
That's a lot. That's more. That's 1.2 out of every 10. That's so many.
Yes.
Ugh. That's bad.
Yes. So they can do better. Okay. Who else we talking?
Okay. George Kittle. Finding the end zone. He did it last year. did a great job of it last year. But Kelsey has 5 seasons or more of 8+ touchdowns. Kittle has 1, and that was last year. So it was great it happened last year. I want to see it happen again. Be a threat in the red zone. Find the end zone. That's what I want to see.
I got a thought. I like that. I got a thought. I think this is an opportunity for Kyle and how he uses Kittle, because I don't really think he's been very creative with how he's used Kittle in his career. It took really Brock Purdy to get him the ball in the end zone, but I would like to see Kyle use Kittle more as a wide receiver.
Split him out wide and go one-on-one with small. I like that. Okay.
I mean, Andy Reid's been doing that with Kelsey for a long time. And I feel like, George is a good blocker, but he was better 3-4 years ago. To me, he's way leaner than he used to be. And I think this is the correct progression for his body as he gets older. I don't think that was sustainable. And now I think he's trying to have a little longevity. So I'm guessing he weighs like 235. Looking at his legs, dude, he's so fast. He's such a good receiver. You could get guys to block. I would like to see his receiving, featured more, because he has the best freaking hand-eye coordination on the team. He's 6'4". He's a monster after the catch. He's really good. And they've been using him as like a blocker forever. Now you got Cam Latu as well. Like, enough, man. Split him out. He could be your slot receiver.
Yeah.
You could have 22 personnel with him in the slot and it looks like 11, or 12 personnel. 12 personnel.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree with that. If you especially towards the end zone, you don't have to do it all the way down the field, but when you get inside the 5, inside the 10, let him use his size. It almost makes you wonder, though, because just because you're big, it doesn't mean you have that in you. Some players innately have that. Steve Smith's a great example of this. Not a big wide receiver, but man, if you gave him a 50-50 ball, he was coming down with that.
Oh, yeah.
There are big receivers that don't have that ability. So maybe that's not really in his arsenal. I can't recall many jump balls in George Kittle's career that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe 1 or 2. So
Agree.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if it's in a skill set.
He's still 6'4". And if you split him out, like, who's going to be guarding him?
At least box out. I see what you're saying. You could at least do the box out thing against a nickel corner type.
And if it doesn't work, you always have Ross Dwelly. So it one or the other. One of the two.
That's true. Ross Dwelly, I think, actually does have that ability. So
he does. He'll just never, ever get a chance to display it in an actual game.
No,
unfortunately.
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
What about Fred Warner? I've got one for Fred Warner. This one was tough for me. Fred Warner, for me, I would say the big play. And what I mean by that, in his career, he's been very steady, but he has a total of 20.5 sacks and forced turnovers combined. So you basically are making 4 like big plays, game-changing plays a season, 4 or 5 at that pace. So he's very steady. He definitely, he'll get his hands on the ball. He'll break things up, but it's like the game-changing. If you get the interception or a big sack, and he doesn't blitz a lot, so the sacks may not, but I would like to see him force a couple more turnovers in a season.
I think that's a really good call. I'm gonna just sort of piggyback off of what you said. He makes a lot of plays. He plays really deep. He plays very deep zone coverage. It's hard to throw over the middle against him. He had 10 pass breakups last year. He's 4 picks in his career. 35 pass breakups in his career. It's really hard to throw on him, but he doesn't make that many plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He just doesn't. And I mean, the best linebackers of all time do. Willis did. Bowman did. This guy, Fred Warner had 2 sacks last year and 3 tackles for loss. That's it.
Yep.
So some of that's schematic. A lot of it's schematic. So I think with Steve Wilkes, knowing his history, he likes to bring pressure from all different places. He's looking at his linebacker core. It's the best in the league, and they're not asked to blitz. Okay, well, that's going to change. So I think it's an opportunity. I'm not saying he can't do it. I think he can do it.
I do too.
And I think it's something he did more with Saleh than with D'Amico. So it's more the coordinator's choice. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you want to go for Trent Williams?
Oh yeah. Where can we start? How about an opportunity to practice this offseason? You haven't done that yet. Didn't do it last year. An opportunity to be in real tip-top peak shape week 1 and not try to sort of get yourself in a shape, mid-season, and then you get that injury, and then you're working your way into it. Then you get there, and then you just tip plays the entire season so that your PFF grade is good. The rest of the offense be damned. Those are 3 things to work on right there for the best left tackle in the game. Not anymore, though, in my opinion. Andrew Thomas?
Yeah, man, I don't know. He's I wasn't going to go with the shape stuff. The chipping plays was the only thing I had.
It's not cheating, but if you have to cheat a little bit to win your matchups and tip plays, then how good are you really? Are you really the best if you have to do that? Why? I'm not saying you're not good, but are you the best? Like the other dudes around the league aren't doing that, and they're winning. Trent, I don't think he likes me anymore.
At least he's not cheating like the Eagles' right tackle is, which I love how they terrible. And then I loved how everybody talked about it as if this was normal. Oh, no, it's completely within the rules. No, it's not. Stop acting.
No,
we're not that dumb. Come on. Don't act like he's not getting a jump every snap. Lane Johnson's name. It escaped me for a second. Let's not act like he's not getting a jump on every snap. He's absolutely rocking backwards and putting his foot back before the ball is snapped. Stop lying. We see it. It's obvious.
True. Okay, any more players? Who we got?
What about Bosa? Is there anything for Bosa you can think of?
An opportunity for him to pace himself a little bit and make a bigger impact in the playoffs? How about that?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Tear. Yeah, dude was on a tear to break the record or he was on a tear for personal accolades. And I think he ran out of gas around week 16.
Yeah. In 3 NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl, he has 2.5 combined sacks. And that tells me that he's wearing out towards the end of the season. And it may not be his fault, right? Like they may just be asking a lot from him. Maybe he's getting, double team and chip because other people aren't doing their jobs. But I would like to see some of that translate into the biggest game of the season.
We were on the same page on that one.
There we go. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
The CMC one I had was actually for Kyle, but it was like, hey, CMC, use your cachet and go tell Kyle not to run you 30 times a game. How about that?
You know what's crazy is that David Shaw did that to McCaffrey in collcollege. How do you do that to an amateur athlete? He's not getting paid. Now he is, but back then, maybe it was under the table. I don't actually know.
Probably was. Actually, I doubt his family needed the money. I'm sure they weren't getting paid, actually.
At Stanford, I just don't think they would do stuff like that. It just seems wrong. David Baker says, who has the most upside? Me. So, for sure. I like Jesse's hat, though, so maybe Jesse. I didn't notice that it had the little thing. I like the little...
And it's the corduroy?
That's nice.
80s style, 90s, yeah.
Very nice. Yep. Sean says Grant Kyle needs you to hold his feet to the fire. Man, I've been trying for 7 years. I don't think I don't think he's gonna grow. So he can grow. But you need a bigger platform to get it done. If you had a first take type platform, would you hold the line with your criticism? Oh yeah. If ESPN gives me a full-time job, I'm still coming at Kyle every day. The problem is I don't think the rest of the country cares.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think they do.
But
what about the Cowboys?
Hold on now. Hear me out. You could be what Skip Bayless is to LeBron James, but to Kyle Shanahan.
And Kyle almost is that famous, and I don't know why. Maybe if Kyle actually wins a Super Bowl, then my career will take off. I'm rooting for Kyle. His stock goes, my stock goes. Slick like ninja 24/7. I love that. Says we know Shanny can't keep his players healthy, so why blame the leaders for not practicing? Maybe they are doing the smart thing. You guys are the best.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
When you put it like that, Slick like ninja. Touche. Mike Monahan says Grant equals Nostradamus.
That's actually pretty clever.
Appreciate it. Andy says, Jesse, where do you get your hats? They go hard.
Everywhere. Now, I'm constantly looking at hats and just seeing what's available. So it depends on the hat and when they're available, I guess.
That was him saying, I'm not telling you who my plug is.
No, it's just...
I get it. Sorry. Ain't that many to go around, baby.
If you
don't need to know
specifics. Fanatics, you can go to Fanatics. You can go to the NFL shop. Sometimes I find them like on Etsy, like people make them or whatever. The one that people like the most, you're not going to find anymore. This one here, the Legacy with the Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. Everybody asks about this one, and the people that made it, they were like an Etsy shop. They don't make it anymore. So good luck.
Yeah, sorry. Vintage. Wave 9 says it feels like they're letting the media say whatever about Trey. They're setting up Brock's downfall. You see how Kittle acts all buddy-buddy with Trey Lance. Man, I love how people read into this weird situation in so many different ways. I didn't see that, but I didn't
Well, Schefter was on your boy's show, Pat McAfee, and and had some words about the quarterback situation. And to me, it all seems speculative. So I don't know. It's hard to know when you've got an insider that comes on and gives opinions, it's really hard to decipher what's opinion and what is actually being heard. So I don't know.
The coach says Pat Mahomes admitted he didn't even know how to read defense his first couple years. Andy held his hand and nurtured him. Vic blossomed under Reed as well. Best he ever did was with him. Also, you got to look at McNabb. He always was successful under Reed, and then as soon as he left Reed, was just awful. And then Alex Smith had his best years under Andy Reid by far. That's another
Andy
one.
Reid is what everybody thought Holmgren was because of Brett Favre.
Well, I was just going to mention that. The thing about Holmgren was legit too, and what Favre said was early on in his career, he didn't even know what a nickel defense was.
He had no idea. He's like 3 years in, he's like, what the hell's a nickel defense?
Like Andy Reid takes quarterbacks who don't necessarily have the cerebral part of the game all the way down and makes the game easy for them, where Kyle Shanahan turns a position into like a freaking PhD content. It's like you have to have a dissertation on everything, like coverages and protections, and it's like, dude, I'm 23. I don't know what I'm looking at. I played in the Big 12. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to help me out here. I'm with you, coach.
Well, he just won't draft players or prefers not to draft players that don't have. There was a reason why he didn't look Justin Fields' way. It wasn't because Justin Fields wasn't good. It was because he didn't have the verbose playbook and, all those other things down. He didn't play from under center. So Kyle's like, I don't got time for any of this. Like, you got to have all the other stuff done. It's like, all right.
The coach says, can we stop assuming Kyle, quote unquote, missed on all these quarterbacks? Maybe some of them said no, but were professional enough to keep it private. Interesting. That is interesting. People talk about how they, how Trey Lance grew on them, how they gave him tests and cognitive tests and personality tests. That's true. And I can see Trey Lance really knocking those out of the park. What about someone like Mac Jones? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about those tests for him? What about like a face-to-face interview? Like, no one talks about that. Maybe it's none of our business, but what if there's like another side of the coin, like two sides of a relationship? Everyone's thinking what Kyle wants. What about he finding someone that actually meshes with him? And maybe that's hard.
Yeah. I mean,
he's negative as hell.
It's tough because we don't know what happened with Tom Brady. Did Tom Brady actually really want to come here, or did he not want to come here? Because it sounds like he was a lock to go to the Raiders. Potentially, not the 49ers. And the MFer he was talking about was Derek Carr. So I don't know.
Interesting. Chris Tellerico says, you doing a call-in show this weekend? For you, I will. I paid too much today to live rent-free in Rob's head for a few days, and I want to continue the conversation. Chris,
you were on him today.
Yeah, man. You've been donating for a while, but today was like your day. It was your coming out party. It was your, God love Rob, but Chris, you were the MVP. You carried that show. And I just pretty much, like, you had Rob's feelings and emotions, Chris pouring gasoline on it, and me just kind of like throwing little matches. Boom, boom, boom. But it was all Chris, man. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. And thank you, Rob, for being a good sport on your own show. Anoop says, is there any chance Jed York will hire an experienced OC akin to Steve Wilkes and strip Kyle of his play sheet approach? Yes equals Super Bowl. No equals
zero
bust.
Chance.
Zero chance. Do you?
Negative chance.
This is Kyle Shanahan. When you tell him what to do. Okay, remember when he was the offensive coordinator in Cleveland? In that clip of Patton saying, run the ball. And Kyle goes, Remember that? That look he gave? That look?
Yeah.
Do I have to? And Patton's like, all right, man, do whatever you want to do. And he calls pass and it scores and everyone's like, oh, Kyle's a freaking genius. Like, that's how he acts when you tell him what to do. You can't tell him what to do. You have to just give him the whole team. But, Harbaugh was the same way, except he wouldn't give you that little look. He would, like, get in your face. So, I don't know, up to you. Was you on passive-aggressive or aggressive-aggressive? Harbaugh was aggressive-aggressive. Kyle's passive-aggressive.
Yeah. That look, though, is so true. He did do that.
Do I have to? Matthew Sanders says Kittle was the guy who benefited the most from Brock's improvisation. If Brock gets put in a box by Kittle this year, Kittle will also regress. Bet.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It's true.
It's very true.
Kittle's production kind of depends on Brock.
I agree.
Put in a box by Kyle, I coached away from improv.
I think we knew what
I
you
mean,
meant.
the best thing Brock does is roll left. Honestly, like anytime he rolls left, I'm like, okay, here we go. But if he has to stay in the pocket, I'm like, I'm not worried. If I'm rooting against him, which I don't. But I'm just saying, like, if I were another team, and he's in the pocket, I'm like, yeah, we could probably handle this. Once he rolls left, I'm like, oh shit. All right. This could go on for like 5 or 6, 7 seconds. Like, he's very creative and calm. He sees the field decently. And he sees it better from outside the pocket than inside the pocket. And he could throw the ball away or scramble a little bit. Like, yeah, I feel like you're almost at his mercy a little bit once he breaks out. But if you know he's going left, you can freaking prevent it. That's a huge tendency. I want to see what the league does with that. It's a huge tendency.
The comment, though, that Purdy said about, I just need to kind of play within Kyle's offense more is a bit concerning for me because Purdy, don't turn Purdy into Jimmy.
I got to be Kirk Cousins. I got to be Jimmy. Please.
Don't do that. Please. Please don't do that to him.
Kaliki Carroll says, Jesse, where's the fresh cut? Grant, you the GOAT.
Oh, it's, I got it.
It's right here. Good to go. Wave 9 says Hargrave should help Bosa not get tired out. True. Agree. Theoretically.
But so should have Armstead and Buckner and D Ford and I don't know.
It's true. It's a good point.
Although that was his rookie year. He didn't necessarily know how to play through a whole season, and he had to go all the way to the Super Bowl. So maybe things are different now. I think
they also don't have a ton of quality depth
how to be ready
on
to
the
go.
D-line. Sorry.
Yeah, they don't.
But they don't. They really don't. J. Figs Ramon says top 2 plays of 2023 Niners are running McCaffrey and Lance up the middle. Yeah, pretty much. Good times. Can't wait for that. How many guys is Kyle Shanahan going to get hurt running between the tackles this year? Don't know. Mason Wright says, Jesse, I know you're from Oregon. Do you have any interest in covering the Blazers?
I used to write for a local publication out there when I lived in Portland about the Blazers, but no, not now.